If you know the name of this fan-shaped leaf, would you give me a nod? Oh, looks like about 50% of you all know that this is a ginkgo leaf. Isn't it cool? Don't you think it's just the coolest leaf you've ever seen? I know. Some of you are saying, Sandy, it's just a leaf. So what? Okay. What you are really looking at is the most successful tree on planet Earth. It has lived on our planet for over 200 million years. That is 173 million years before man or woman stood upright. It's 70 million years before the Atlantic Ocean even existed. It beat out all of its competition and outlived all of its family members by millions of years. There is no disputing that this is the most successful tree on our planet. Even today, in 2015, it is in high demand for its urban landscaping properties and medicinal properties. You'll find it lining the cities of our world's biggest urban areas, New York, Tokyo, LA. You'll also find it on the shelves of health food stores all over the world to help with memory, circulation, and anxiety. I first met the ginkgo when I was 18 years old. I was a forestry major, and we were required to learn all the trees on our 10,000-acre campus. When I met my first ginkgo tree, it was love at first sight. I really think you do believe me on that. And during the fall, when its leaves turned golden, I stalked it. I went and visited every day because I wanted to catch that 24-hour period when all of its leaves come cascading down. I loved to stand under the tree and look up. It was like a snow shower of gilded snowflakes. And it also contributed greatly to our reputation on campus, where we forestry majors were considered, shall I say, a bit different. We didn't care. 30 years later, the ginkgo reached out to me again. This time, I was in business school. I was studying marketing, management, and strategy, and how to put all these disciplines together to create sustainable success. And you know what proved it to me? This leaf right here proved it to me, that is the way it works. Take marketing. The primary purpose of marketing is to make your product or your company memorable. In the business world, we call that branding. Right here in this room, we have some fabulous examples of branding. I mean, who can forget that inside giggle, or the power of that lioness principle, or the inspiration of that orange glow? You don't. It sticks. Who can forget the shape of this leaf? There is no other leaf shaped like this. You don't forget it. Once you learn that's a ginkgo, you rarely forget it. Now, I'm going to show you another leaf. I would bet $100 that nobody in this audience knows this is a sourwood leaf. Huh. Why? It looks like every other leaf on the planet. There is absolutely nothing about it that makes it memorable. The ginkgo has marketing under control. What about management? Well, in business school, we're taught to design customer-oriented systems that come together in such a way that creates a culture that your competition can't imitate. Starbucks is a great example of this. Apple is a great example of this. The ginkgo is a great example of this because its biological systems come together to create a tree like no other. The ginkgo is almost 100% resistant to insects, to diseases, to air pollution, and to soil impaction. It doesn't care if we pour concrete over its roots, making it perfect for urban landscaping. Finally, strategy. Now, what in the world could the ginkgo say about strategy? Well, in business school, we're taught that strategy begins with exactly what we've been talking about all day. That core purpose, that mission statement, that intrinsic motivator that comes from the inside that takes individuals and companies beyond their furthest imagination. Walt Disney is a great example of this. The ginkgo is a great example of this, and let me tell you why. On Monday morning, August 6th of 1945, at 8:16 a.m., the United States dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima that the world has ever experienced. The bomb exploded a half a mile above the surface of the earth. The explosion created a flash that blinded thousands instantly. It created tornadoes that brought down the tallest skyscrapers, and it created a radiation that heated the surface of the earth a half a mile below it to 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It killed 80,000 people instantly. It flattened, it charred, and it completely destroyed a 3-mile radius around ground zero. It changed our world forever. Scientists were on ground zero studying all the effects of this mysterious and devastating bomb, and the results were not promising. Many of the scientists thought that nothing could live on this for 70 to 75 years. Nothing would be alive on this 3-mile radius. And studies continued for months, till about 8 months after the explosion, one scientist came in and said, "You are not going to believe what I just saw." What he saw was coming out of the burnt twig of one of the 6 ginkgos standing in ground zero was a spring leaf. Within a week, all 6 of the ginkgos had leafed out. They had survived, and today they still thrive. When the Japanese people heard of this sign of rebirth in this area of total devastation, they were elated. They declared the ginkgo tree the national symbol of peace, of hope, and of perseverance. The Japanese people will forever protect, propagate, and love the ginkgo. So you see, I'm not a bit worried about the ginkgo. It's going to be the most successful tree on our planet for a long time because of how its unique appearance, its resilient systems, and its meaning to millions of our people on our planet. It will always be there for a long time. I want to leave you with just one question. Do you want your business to be a sourwood or a ginkgo? Thank you.